So we have a room full of people, and many of the people here are joining us for offering service Saturday, which is a day that happens once a month. And every single time this happens, I am seeing people doing this with a joyful mind and heart. And so I'm going to talk about joyous effort from a few different angles today. So if you think that I'm going off on a tangent, I probably am, but I'm going to circle back to joyous effort each and every time. That's the goal anyway. So this morning there are all kinds of activities happening. Some people were rolling mantras, and a finished roll looks something like this. And these are prayers on sheets that are rolled into this shape, and these will eventually go into the 3 Buddhist statues in the main hall. They'll go inside the central channel of these Buddhas. Some people were out in the forest helping us with forest fire mitigation. Some people were in the kitchen cooking us a beautiful lunch. Some people were in the garden. Other people were out weeding. There's a number of activities going on these kinds of days. So everyone has chosen to come here. That's the first very important ingredient. No one was forced to. People choose to come to this day. And I just see joyful engagement. And what I also notice is that when we do something like this as even just a community, doing it as a group, there's this group energy that happens. And even if I'm in a grumpy mood, which does happen more often than I'd like to admit to, the group energy elevates my mind and I want to do it. I just want to do it because I see other people having fun. I see the results of our efforts. It's meritorious. We get things done in a shorter period of time. So we're all familiar with joyous effort, or what we call joyous effort, before we have met any kind of spiritual practice. And it's probably, rolled in with a lot of other things like the 8 worldly concerns. Primarily that kind of effort, if I think about what I did and I called it joyous effort before having a Dharma practice, was getting what I want. And it was fueled with the 8 worldly concerns, and it was all selfish. And the little bit of joy I had during or before, or just even thinking about it, vanished quite quickly, and it became arduous and a task, and then I was resentful. That's that kind of effort. But we've all done it, right? To get what we want, to get a new truck. Well, actually, if you get a new truck, you have a lot of friends, and it will actually encourage you to be helpful because everyone wants you to help them move. So I recommend, if that's the kind of deal you're thinking of getting, get a truck. You have instant friends. So we've gone on arduous hikes, we've gone skiing, we've gotten up in the middle of the night to go skiing, we've traveled long distances to do things. We've really put our body through huge physical tests. We've gone without sleep. We've gone without eating well, and it's for this thing that I want or that person that I want. So we know about this kind of effort. And what I keep asking myself is, when I have this memory of that kind of effort, is, do I put that kind of effort into my spiritual practice? So the meaning of joyous effort in the Buddhist worldview is quite different from what we called it before we met a spiritual practice. And this is a quote from Geshe Sopa's Steps on the Path to Enlightenment. And this is what he says about joyous effort. Frequently in the text, it's called perseverance. And right off the bat, Geshe Sopa says, joyous effort is the remedy for discouragement. So right off the bat, he gives us an advantage of this kind of mind. And he goes on to say, the nature of joyous effort is joy in doing meritorious actions. Now that's a key component right there. No matter how much physical discomfort, mental hardship, or inconvenience an activity entails, we joyfully persevere. The ability to bear discomfort and joyfully persevere does not come easily. For joy to arise when one is sad and tired, you have to understand the benefits of doing the action and the disadvantages of not doing it. So I'm going to pull out a few of the benefits of having this mind of joyous effort. And this is still from Geshe Sopa. So from the Compendium of the Perfections, this text says that joyous effort makes everything, including the highest enlightenment, possible. If you have great joyous effort, completely free from discouragement, there's nothing we can't accomplish. Now, isn't that inspiring? The same text goes on to say that if we have joyous effort conjoined with fortitude, humans and non-human beings are happy to assist us. And why is that? Well, if we take joy in working for others so that they can enjoy happiness, they'll want to help us in return. Perseverance or joyous effort makes our life meaningful. Day and night will be fruitful. One's good qualities will not diminish. So those are very compelling reasons to cultivate this kind of mind. Now I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent. So recently, Canada made the front page of the New York Times. This is a rare event because actually no one in America really cares much about Canada, let alone the New York Times. But you may have read about this extremely devastating fire that is still burning out of control in Jasper, which is a historic town in the northern part. Well, it's not. It's actually central north part of Alberta. It's north of Banff, which probably you all know. It's the northern version of Banff, and it's in a national park. So earlier this year in the spring, in particular, Alberta and British Columbia did not get the precipitation that we got around here. It has been bone dry. In fact, in a number of places in British Columbia and Alberta, there have been fires burning underground all winter long. They call these zombie fires. And then when the situation is right, these zombie fires that are burning, they come up through an opening in the ground and they ignite whatever's around. But in the case of the Jasper fire, it was the two combinations of having a catastrophic level of drought condition going on and also lightning. So on July 22nd, all those causes and conditions came together. Lightning struck close to the town of Jasper, and of course all of the firefighters were called into action, but almost immediately they were facing a situation that was impossible. The firefighters were describing a wall of fire, this fiery inferno fueled by huge winds, the flames were reaching 300 and 400 feet into the air. They couldn't use planes with water, they couldn't use a helicopter, nothing was possible. The only thing they had to do, and did do successfully, was evacuate 20,000 tourists. There are people out all over hiking, and the 5,000 residents in the town. And everyone got out. And right now, they're still facing the fact that now 79,000 acres have burned, and at least a third of this historic town has just been incinerated, completely leveled, and it's still burning out of control. So, recently, a friend of ours who was born and raised in South Africa, I'm still getting to joyous effort, don't worry, sent me a video clip knowing that I was born and raised in Alberta. And this video clip was filmed in Edmonton, Alberta, a week after the fire started. So July 29th, 200 South Africans arrive in Edmonton to help fight the Jasper fire. These are volunteers. Now, I don't need to tell you the risks of firefighting, of doing firefighting with wildfires. The risks are so many. It is really, really a dangerous thing. And so I want you to see what some of the people in Edmonton saw when these people arrived in the Edmonton airport. There are men and women in this group. Men and women. Thank you, Vinmal Kunchuk. So for our friends online, you won't see what we just saw, but we'll put the link in the description of this video. Okay, joyous effort. I think we just saw it. Now, when I think about my spiritual practice, when I sit down to meditate in the meditation hall, I'm not risking my life. I'm not going into a dangerous situation. If I don't meditate, I might be risking your life. But it's just incredible. These people are going into an extremely volatile situation, and that is carrying them into the situation. So when I look at that and I think, wow, look what happens when we get together and do something virtuous. And this is going to make me cry. Great. Okay. Didn't practice for this one. So I'll also say that every time these people go to a fire, they do that song and dance. So when they start in the morning, they do that song and dance, and it gets them all ready to face what they're facing. Now maybe we should do Amitofo every time. 5:15 in the Buddha Hall. Well, soon we'll have a gong and a drum, so we'll have our own version of what we just saw on the screen. What I didn't know is that Canada and South Africa have this relationship, and it's called, what is it called? There's, let's see, where is it? Anyway, it's some kind of allegiance where if the fires get out of control in South Africa, the Canadians go, and now the South Africans are coming, and also in Alberta right now, the situation is so dire. Firefighters from Quebec, Ontario, and New Zealand are coming to help with the fire. So I think we can just think of that moment of that celebration of, getting together and apply that when our mind gets discouraged. And also in volume 6, by His Holiness and Venerable Children, they say this about joyous effort. It involves employing our body and mind to willingly and happily work for the well-being of sentient beings. This kind of mind is free from laziness, restlessness, and hounding ourselves with unrealistic expectations. Joyous effort is untiring. Don't you want that kind of mind? I do. Without energy, accomplishing even worldly goals is not possible, let alone actualizing our spiritual aspirations. With joyous effort, we'll happily practice the path for our own and others' welfare without becoming discouraged or exhausted. And just take a look around. Our spiritual teachers are living examples of this kind of mind. Take a look. I'm talking to myself. Take a look. They're teaching in every moment. They're teaching us in every moment how to do this. Let's do that too.